Well, it is a typical pizza day morning. Kids are out playing, lawnmowers are going, and once again the morning is almost gone. Anyway, got a comment real early this morning. I was reading it actually when I was doing the time-lapse thing on out the back window. And the viewer had said, I'm not going to thunk it down, but he had said, why don't you just use a brush on these things? And at first I thought, yeah, that's a good idea. Why don't I just brush these instead of having to, crank up the airbrush? And then I thought, well, no, I've got to paint this entire piece here. And I was going to paint it black. And it's not painted yet. And then when I came to look at it now, I realized, well, I have painted it. The only thing I have to paint black is this sort of yard arm thing, and although I don't think that's what it is, it's something else, although I do believe that on the real ship this was made of wood. Anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and paint these little pieces with a brush. I'm probably going to take them off of this tape here and put them on something else. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it by brush. I'm not going to spray these little pieces. Like the viewer said, you're not going to be able to tell if they were painted by, with an airbrush or with a paintbrush. Anyway, whereas something like this, of course, you could, but it's already painted, and I've already detailed these little parts here on the on the weather vane and so on. I painted them black and so on, so I don't want to be messing around with this. I'm just gonna. I know that on the real ship, that it was black, or probably was black. At least it was black at some time in its 20 or 22 years of its life. But on mine, it's just going to have to be the number 22 gray. I got our camera going at exactly 4:30 this morning. And because there's nothing to see on the horizon, in other words, our sunrise is pretty bleak, for you camera buffs, I made some changes to the camera last night. And yeah, this is for you. Okay, we're going to change the interval. Remember, we changed it from 3 to 4. Now we're going to go from 4 to 5. And I'm going to increase the length of the shooting time from 1 hour and 30 minutes to 1 hour and 45. Okay. Alright, now that will mean that the rendered movie will be 42 seconds and 1 frame. Yeah, it's the length of the movie is going to be about the same length of time. It's just that it's going to cover a longer period of time, and the clouds are going to scroll by a little faster. As I'm sitting here editing this right now, I realize that I've made another mistake. Yeah, I said it was 42 seconds and 1 frame. I should have said 42.1 seconds. In other words, 42 and 1/10 of a second. Yeah, but who cares? Undoubtedly, you will have noticed when you're watching that time-lapse video that the trees in the background, there was no wind. In other words, they weren't thrashing around like something out of a Exorcist movie or something. Yeah, although right now I notice the wind has got up. In fact, a few minutes ago I had to go and reopen my back bedroom door there because the wind had blown it shut coming in through the back window. Anyway, once again, more information than you need, right? You will notice undoubtedly that quite often a lot of time passes in between scenes. Well, as I've said before, what I'll do is I'll I'll do a little shooting, and then I'll get up and go and edit it out and add it to the video, and that's generally the way I do it. And it keeps me from just sitting here all day long, in one spot. It keeps me moving around. Now, what I'm planning to do here is very carefully take our ladders off without bending them. I know normally I have the macro lens on, but I think if you're watching this in 4K, it should be fairly sharp as it is. Okay, now I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but I'm going to do the ultrasonic cleaner thing on at least the brass stuff. You didn't think that was going to stay on that blade, did you? You want to know something? Neither did I. Okay, now I've never had anything bad happen if I put plastic in the ultrasonic cleaner. The solution that's in there is the Iwata airbrush cleaner. It's not a solvent, it's sort of a soap. In fact, it actually feels quite soapy, so it's going to be interesting to see, how this comes out. Once again, I made the mistake of leaving these on the tape too long. I probably got tape residue stuck on these little pieces here. Now, my thinking for this long piece is that I am not going to stick it in the ultrasonic. It wouldn't fit properly in this one anyway, but I do have a bigger one that will fit on. But I'm kind of worried that the high frequency, I think it's this end that's been repaired. I can't. Yeah, it's this end here. I was afraid that the high frequency could break the connection apart. I'm not making a lot of sense here, am I? Yeah, we'll worry about. I'll think of some way to fasten this down so that I can paint it. And it's a shame because I did such a nice job on this piece right here, and now I'm going to be painting it black. But I got to admit that I know I'm not going to be painting this part black, but something this way up in the air on the top of a battleship is not going to be painted this color. I should have known better, because it would be like waving a flag to the enemy. Here I am. Anyway, I just shook this up in the paint shaker, so it's pretty much ready to go here. And all right, let's. Where's my lid? Just in case it spits. I will pour this back. Alright, and the tweezers. Now, I'm going to just move this over here so I can look down into it. I think the next time this stuff settles to the bottom, I'll have to pour off the top and then clean out this container. I sure have a problem with talking and working at the same time. Now, I would imagine that the best time to put these in the isopropyl is before the Iwata airbrush cleaner dries and hardens on the surface. I mean, when I did wash my fingers here and got the pizza stuff off. We will look at these pieces closer after. The reason I'm dabbing the excess off is because I don't want to contaminate the isopropyl any more than, you know, I have to here. I'm just letting the camera run because my my videos have been so short lately that if I want to get any footage, I gotta just leave it run. I don't think isopropyl 70% was going to hurt the plastic. Now, mind you, I would imagine that just because it's 70% instead of 99% doesn't necessarily mean that it's, you know, not going to hurt the plastic. It's just going to maybe hurt it slower. No, that's not working. Now, it seems to me that once before, when I was using the brush to clean some of these pieces off, I bent the photo etch, so I don't want to be doing that again. Okay, I would think that in all likelihood we probably got it fairly pristine. Okay, let's just recompose here and look at these pieces. Okay, we will put the macro lens on in a minute here, but I put them on a glass slide, and the reason I did that is because I was noticing that when I was handling them with the tweezers, the plastic parts seemed to be sticking to the tweezer, but they're not now. So I was kind of concerned that possibly the plastic had softened and was becoming sticky on the outside, but everything looks fine here. I got a little fluffy here. Well, we'll get that in a minute. Anyway, I think everything's good here. Okay, I'll use one of Tennessee Jim's mini Q-tips here. That really got itself wound around that rung, didn't it? Maybe if I turn it over here. Come on. There, it's off. Alright, I think that's alright. I'm pretty sure we got... Yeah, there's nothing on there. You can see it better than I can. Now, these pieces here, okay, I'm not seeing any sign of detail being lost. Like this little piece right here that the mini Q-tip is almost touching. Nothing dissolved. So the Iwata airbrush cleaner didn't hurt anything. It would have only helped because of the ultrasonic, right? Yeah, everything looks good to me. Now if I can just keep from touching it with my fingers and not poke it and have it go pinging off somewhere. Now there's two ways I can do these ladders, and I think I'm going to do them the second way. The first way would be to put them back on the masking tape and then paint one side, flip it over after it dries, of course, and then do the other side. Or I could very carefully grab hold of it with on one end, like say the end with the paintbrush is holding on, with a tweezer. And if I'm holding this end, then paint this half. And I'd be able to turn it over and do both sides at the same time. Then let it dry and carefully grab hold of the painted end, and you know what I'm saying. Either way, it's going to be like the saying goes, 6 of one and half a dozen of the other, and in that way I'm not going to be getting masking tape gum on the ladder, and also it will help me to be able to being as I'm using a brush, I'm going to be getting paint in between the rungs, if you know what I mean. It'll kind of, well, once again I'm lost for words here, but you know what I mean. So I think that's what I'm going to try and do here. I'm going to rig up some tweezers in the helping hands, and yeah. Okay, these tweezers here with the pieces of rubber that I've glued on the end, they shouldn't hurt the ladder. Maybe I should wipe them off to make sure that there's nothing on there. I'll do that first, but okay, so I got to be able to pick these up. Okay, now I think the easiest way will be to come off this end here. Oh, I didn't wipe these off. I'll be right back. Okay, I got them, and what I had done was I put a little bit of isopropyl on my lint-free cloth here, but it dissolved the rubber. Maybe I should drop those back into their tin. Now, I want these fairly close together. Now, the idea will be if I can come along and just pick them up like this. Yeah. Okay, I think that's going to work. I'll just sort of clamp them. Yeah, we'll rig something up. pal Jim Steen. I don't know if you're listening, but I think I got the same thing you got. I got my mojo back. Well, at least I got it back for the better part of today. Yeah, I'm kind of feeling like maybe I'll work on this later this evening. We'll see how it goes, and once again, if I do, I will attach it to the beginning of tomorrow's episode. In the meantime, everybody, as you can see from the clock there, we've kind of run out of time. So thanks for watching, and all being well, we'll be seeing you tomorrow. And all being well, we'll be putting this NATO black on.